everybody to We Talk. We're all your host, Barry, joined as always by Clayton. How are things, Clayton? How's it going?
Hey, Barry.
How are things?
Good. It's... Why are you being so, suspicious, too? What's going on? Barry?
I am a bit suspicious today. Just a little bit.
What? Just a little bit?
Why
is that? Why is...
Because I'm suspicious about the substance.
Dun dun.
Dun, dun.
That's because this is our spooky episode of the year, Barry. This is a spooky episode.
Is this a spooky episode? I thought next week would be spooky. Okay.
Well, this can be after Halloween, though, right?
Well, this will come out when it comes out.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah, okay. You know what? I say that like there's a schedule to these things.
Yeah, we don't have a schedule to these things.
We
are one day late. We're running behind. We don't have a schedule anymore. We used to when we weren't busy.
Did we?
And weren't making films.
No, we didn't. Yeah. We talk film, we make films. All of that.
Exactly.
Jazz. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess this can be our spooky episode. We're talking 2 spooky films today. They've got to do with horror themes and woo.
Yep.
So yeah, sure. This is our Halloween episode. Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome. You've sat through another year of us doing this.
God
okay,
damn it.
Yeah. We're talking about The Substance and A Different Man tonight. 2 films that are completely different, but have a weirdly similar premise. So we're bundling together.
Yeah.
Those 2. But before we get into them, as always, Barry, throw us on over to the newsroom.
The news.
The latest in entertainment for this week. I again was not prepared, so I'm reading these off of my phone this week. The first thing I'd like to mention is Spider-Man 4. An MCU film that we're both very excited about. We talked a bit.
One? After all these years, they're finally doing it.
No, not him.
Okay.
The other one, the other guy.
Andrew Garfield, he's coming back.
Yeah, no, not him either. The other one.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I mean he's getting something as well. We talked about that last time. And I suppose we can talk about. We're pivoting stories. We got set photos for Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir.
Oh, yeah,
that looks
cool.
Did.
It does
on the
look
car.
cool.
We saw the suit. I
Yes.
assume it's him doing all of his stunts, and I will not believe anything else.
Yeah, it's all Nick Cage every single second. There's no
It's
stunt
all
guys
Nick Cage.
whatsoever.
It's just him doing his.
Although
thing.
I've got to
it looks
imagine
cool.
though, those behind the scenes set photos that they did have, that looks like some thick get up. He has got to be sweating in that suit.
Oh,
it's like
100%.
sunny and everything like that.
Yeah, he's getting cooked. He's getting completely cooked in that, but it's great because it looks really cool. So I'm all for that. Anyway, we saw that. Pivoting away back to the other Spider-Man, and Tom Holland. He's getting a 4th Spider-Man film. He's the only Spider-Man actor to ever get 4 films, but it's gonna start filming in summer of 2025. So that's American summer. So midway through next year, they're gonna start filming, which is crazy considering he only read a draft of the script the other week.
Yep.
And said it needed a bunch of revisions. So I assume that 6 months or so is enough time to get everything ready in pre-production for it. It's the 4th one. They must know what they're doing by now, right?
Yeah, they're fine. They didn't have to get 10 different writers to do this, and what's his name isn't coming back to direct it,
John Watts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's doing Fantastic Four though, so he's pivoting.
He's already done that. That's wrapped filming.
Yeah, but he could have pivoted. I feel like you'd have to get ready a little bit earlier, but even crazier, it's starting filming next year, right? It's coming out exactly 1 year after they start filming. It has a July 24th, 2026 release date, which means it's after the next Avengers film. So that's cool. It's in between Avengers and Secret. What is it? Doom, whatever. Disaster, whatever. Doomsday. That's right. And Secret Wars. So that's cool. It could have some very cool implications to the MCU. But 1 year after they start filming, including post-production and visual effects for a Spider-Man film, feels like they might be cutting it a little close. Don't you think, Barry?
A little bit, but the same thing happened with Deadpool and Wolverine. It was kind of the same like rough
Yeah.
timeline with everything like that because that took forever to actually get made in the first place, that film. And they're like, oh yeah, you only have like a year.
Yeah.
And so it's like, good
That's true.
luck.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean, but the CGI was probably one of the worst parts of Deadpool and Wolverine. As great as
Yeah.
that film was, oh my lord, they needed a little bit of time to cook in the visual effects department,
Yeah.
and I don't want Spider-Man to hit that same fate because a
Yeah.
lot of that is CGI. A lot of him just walking around, like Deadpool walks around, it's just him in a suit. Spider-Man walks around, he runs around, he swings around. It's visual effects every time.
Oh
I don't know.
yes.
I guess we'll see.
Unless I start doing more
Like I said,
practical
yeah.
stuff. They did
I
it with
mean,
the
the Nick
Sam
Cage
Raimi.
one seems to be doing that.
Yeah.
Like, he's on a car. Who knows? We'll see more of that when we hear.
Yep.
Pivoting away, this is some cool news, something that I'm really excited about. Alien
Cool
Romulus.
news.
Go listen to our episode for our review on that film, but it's getting a sequel. It's like
Yay!
they're continuing the story of the characters in this film, the surviving characters in this film. If you haven't
Okay.
seen it, it's not many. But those guys
Yeah.
are. It's continuing their story in a way similar to like Aliens.
Yep.
Continued Sigourney Weaver's story, so it's cool. I like that. That's a
Nice.
great idea.
Yeah.
I feel I'm just very
Oh,
confused about like
that means
what they
more
do. It's not
Andy.
it does mean more Andy, but it's also not confirmed if Fede Alvarez is coming back.
Oh.
It's like he wants to. I'm pretty sure he wants to. Like
I
everything's
mean, like,
pointing
I
to
feel
him
like you
coming back.
need
It's
to
just, it
get
hasn't
him
been
back.
announced yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it hasn't been announced yet, so that's the only thing. So I'm assuming we're just waiting for him to be like, "Oh, I'm directing it again," because he
Yeah.
did a very good job with Romulus.
Oh, yes, you did.
Again, listen to our episode on that. We praise Fede a lot. But yeah, I'm all for a sequel. Are you open to a sequel to this, or would you
Yeah.
think like maybe them doing something
I
new would be better?
was hoping they would do something new because I feel like the ending of where it was is just like not really much can happen type thing because they're going to the new planet and stuff
Maybe.
like that. I feel like they got rid of the threat. But if they come up with some new interesting way, I mean, I'm down for more Andy. Andy was like the best part of that film. And if
Yeah.
I get to see that actor again playing as Andy, I'm just like, yes, I will sign me up. But yeah, they can do really whatever. Like, there's a lot of things going on with that franchise at the moment. There's a lot of things going with the Predator franchises at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, they could
Yep.
do an Alien 3 and just kill everyone off at the start, and then it becomes its own thing,
Maybe.
right? Like that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Fede, if you're listening and you're directing this, don't do that. Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Um,
I'm gonna call him up
Yeah.
right now.
Anyway,
Like, hey, Fede, yeah, sorry, Clayton
Oh,
said
yeah.
not to do that. Sorry,
we
sorry.
do
bud.
this
Yeah, you
bit
can't do that.
all the time where we pretend to be on the phone to like one of the directors we talk about, and every time I'm still like, why are we doing this? This is not funny, but I laugh at it because
It's kind of funny. It's goofy.
It is a little funny and goofy. Okay. Final story this week. Not a lot happened, at least not a lot that I knew about. So this regarding a movie that we may cover on a potential episode coming up. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Venom: The Last Dance
Oh
has
yeah.
the weakest opening in franchise history, making just $51 million.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. Like, people are saying it's about on par with the first two, or it's sitting somewhere in between them, which isn't a good thing because the Venom
No.
films are not great. It surprises me they've done 3 movies without Spider-Man in it, considering that's
Well,
like
that's
the whole
the thing. They've somehow still managed to do that. They
Yeah.
have done a 3 trilogy film just about one of Spider-Man's villains. And it's just
It
like,
is crazy.
how did this happen?
I don't know. I guess, I mean, Tom Hardy and his Venom character
Yeah.
are really great.
Yeah.
That's kind of all that's carrying
all
these
it
films.
is.
If it wasn't for him, oh lord, they wouldn't have not gotten a sequel in the first place.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll check it out at some point and give our thoughts on
Some
it. But you
point.
know, I'm not too excited. I wasn't in a hurry to watch it. It's been like out for a week. I haven't seen it yet. So
Yeah.
you know, there's that. That's kind of it for the news. Oh, I flipped my
Clayton
camera accidentally.
Turned himself. Now he's decided.
I'm sideways now. There, I'm back. Okay, that was all right. Cool. Barry, what are we doing this week? What are we starting with? You give us the deets. Do the thing.
Oh yeah, so
that you
this
do.
week we are starting with The Substance. I have a little clip here to play for that.
Mile!
So yes, that is a clip for this year's The Substance, directed by Coralie Fargett and stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. This was a film that's come out recently. It's on digital now and everything like that. Came out this year and everything like that. And yeah, this is a very strange film. Not what I was expecting
That's an
when you
understatement.
suggested it.
I've seen some weird films in my life, and I've seen
Yeah.
some just like gross, surprising, just overall, like I guess disgusting in an entertaining way. Films. This might take the cake. Like weirdest R-rated film that I've seen.
Oh yeah.
At least in recent years, this is just oh my lord. Barry, I have one question though. Did you do what I did, and did you watch this film with your parents? Because
No, I did not.
I did that.
I was
Yeah.
smart about it.
No, it was weird because like
Yeah.
my dad was excited about. He was like, "Oh, Demi Moore's in a film. I haven't seen her in a film in like 20 years."
Yeah,
Like,
that's
okay,
the thing.
I know nothing
He's
about
like,
this film
yeah.
either because I watched one of the trailers and it didn't show any of the like weirdness. It was just kind of cool and different. I was like, okay, I'm
I
into
knew
this.
nothing about
And
this,
then
so
yeah, well, I think no, because Bo told me to go watch it. One of our classmates at TAFE, and he was like, "It's weird. Check it out." And I ended
Yep.
up watching it before he did. But oh my lord, I'm no longer allowed to pick movie night films. Like that's off. I'm done.
Yeah, you've lost that privilege now forever.
No more movies.
Yeah.
I've lost that.
No more
privilege.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
understandable.
And you make
It
movies as
was
well.
wacky.
Like that's
Yeah, that's true. But the weirdest thing is I really loved this film.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. I thought it
Oh,
was
same.
so much fun. Start to finish. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you would. To be
No,
honest. I thought you'd hate this.
I kind of vibed with it, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Because I haven't seen the
Okay.
second movie that we're gonna talk about today on the podcast, but I was able to watch this one
yeah.
and everything like that. And yeah, I kind of digged it, if I'm being honest. Like this is the most
Really?
like body horror wacky film that I've seen in a long time, where it is so disturbing, and I'm probably not gonna watch it again. But I'm never gonna forget this film.
No.
I'm never gonna forget this film now.
Yeah. It is so wacky. Okay, so I'll give you guys the rundown. For those who have not seen The Substance or know nothing about this film, much like ourselves before we watched it.
Yeah. Oh, spoiler warning.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, spoiler warning. Spoilers for everything. You guys should know
Yep.
this. We know this. I think. Do we? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a film podcast.
So,
Expect spoilers.
Demi Moore plays an aging like actress. She does lots of like fashion and modeling, all sorts of Hollywood over the top style wackiness. It's never quite
Fitness
explained exactly
instructing.
what she does. It's just weird fitness videos, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's not important. Anyway, she's getting old, and she is not a big fan of that because the
Yeah.
company that she works with fire her, looking to replace
Yep.
her with someone younger. Starts hating like the way that she looks. She's wearing more and more makeup. She's thinking people don't care about her anymore. She's aging. She's like past news, so to speak. But in doing so, she comes across a way that like may help her situation. I put help in big quotation marks, like the biggest quotation marks that can fit on your keyboard. Those kind of quotation marks, because a doctor. Okay, no. So she gets hit by a car in like the first 5 minutes, and there's this big car accident she's in.
Yep.
In what is a very impressive sequence, but it leads to her being in the hospital, and they're like, "Oh, you haven't got a scratch on you. That's cool." And the doctor leaves the room, but then the nurse steps up to her, and he's like, "Hey, you know, I can help your problem. You're a perfect candidate." And he's like checking
like,
her
testing
spine,
her.
and they're all like, "What's going on?" And he gives her a business card, and the card just has like a phone number on it. So eventually, she calls that number, and it just says like your package is on the way. That's kind of it. There's no information. This film tells you absolutely nothing about the substance, where it comes from, who makes it, what it even is.
You don't get told
Well,
anything.
like apart from, you know absolutely nothing. And Demi Moore just goes, you know what? I'm gonna trust this. Gets this package from this weird warehouse in the middle of nowhere that she keeps having to go back
Yeah.
to.
Oh, that's right. She does. There is
And
a video thing, remember? Because she gets given a USB
oh,
thing and she
that's
plays
right.
the
Yeah,
video,
it's
and
a
it kind
USB.
of, but it doesn't explain anything though. It's very much like your new
No.
self, you for 7 days, them for 7 days, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So all she knows at this point is that there's rules. She can make like be a younger, perfect version of herself, but
Yeah.
she has to swap every 7 days. She has to like take a hit of something. What's the word? That she has to like enhance, like take it every day. It's like not the activation, but she has to keep it going every day, doing this
Oh,
one
the
thing.
spinal fluid stuff.
Yeah, that stuff. But she has to do this one thing every day. And yeah, every 7 days she has to swap. And she's like, I don't know what that means. That's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, she decides, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to trust it. Goes to this warehouse, brings this package back home. And inside is just a massive syringe needle. And a bunch of satchels of like gunky looking food.
Yep.
And a whole bunch of other little injecty things. And she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to put this green stuff in my arm.
Why not?
And this is where the film just starts going nuts. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Because she puts this green shit in her arm, immediately keels over in pain, and like dies, kind of. And then like
Yeah.
her back rips open, and like
Yep.
Margaret Qualley climbs out of her back.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Oh, like, okay, Barry, what were you thinking at this point in the film? I'm very curious because this is
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I
so
didn't like
weird.
watch a trailer, and you didn't tell me anything about this film. You just
No,
said
I
go
knew
watch
nothing.
Substance for the podcast. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll go watch it. And then eventually I was like, cool. I was like, I kind of like was vibing with it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be about like an old actress. She's just gonna get some pills, and younger version's gonna be like self-identity stuff. And it's like, no, this
Yeah,
is
right?
like straight up body horror, like the Fly level of stuff that happens in this film. And yeah, this first scene where it just starts ripping the spinal column. I was like, what the fuck? Is this like Aliens? Like, I honestly thought it was like
Yeah.
that all over again. I was like,
That's exactly what it was like.
and there's a lot of wackiness to this movie, which is kind of great because I really love the actual like cinematography of this film. I vibed with the cinematography
yeah.
so much. It was just
It was
so
gorgeous.
close up and so personal. And I suppose like that's the whole like point to this film as well. Because I actually just watched a video before starting the podcast about the DP and stuff like that. Like the reason why they shot on Ari is because it gives better skin color and everything like that. Because it's all about beauty, this
There's a
film,
lot
and
of
everything
skin
like that.
There's
a lot of skin.
That makes a lot of sense.
There is. Do not watch this with your
Oh,
parents.
boy.
Advise that, kids. Do not watch this with your parents. Unlike Clayton.
I wish I listened to this podcast before I did that.
And then and then it's just like splitting open over the back. I was like, oh, okay. And then a younger version of herself popped out somehow.
It's not explained. It's just kind of happens, and you just kind of accept it because it's gross, but it's also like weirdly like you're intrigued. You want to keep watching. It's done so well, and it's shot really gorgeously. Everything in this film feels too clean.
Yes.
And also just disgusting at the same time. They hit this weird balance of things that make it just completely
the most disturbing scene besides like that, what I found at the beginning, was Dennis Quaid eating with the lobster and stuff like that, because it's so
He's
close
just
up in his mouth. He's like, nom. And like Dennis Quaid was great in this film. I loved him.
Oh, he's a gross guy in this film.
He's a gross guy.
I despised him.
Yeah.
He was so funny. He was so stupid. Yeah. So from then on, the younger version of herself, which is now Margaret Qualley, gets to spend like 7 days before they have to swap back, or like their bodies start decomposing the other one. It's this whole thing. Again, it's not quite explained how that works. So her other body, which is Demi Moore, the older version of herself, just kind of stays on her bathroom floor for most of this movie, with a drip-fed syringe into her arm, feeding this food substances that they have enough for a week. And then it keeps refilling the packages when they run out. That's the substance company, I guess, do that. But yeah, so every day she has to. It's not activated. It's keep it up, and she takes spinal fluid from the other body and injects it into herself. I cannot remember what it's called in the thing because it's like I'm blanking
Isn't
on
it
the
like
term. You gotta activate
accelerant
once,
activator?
something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself because it's like the one of the 3 rules. It's like forgetting to
Yep.
feed gremlins after midnight. That's very much this kind of film
Oh,
where it's like a monkey's
stabilizer.
paw sort of situation. Stabilize, just stabilize every day so that her
Yep.
body doesn't start like
I
breaking
literally have a
down.
picture
And
up
I
on my
keep
screen right
blanking
now
on
of
it.
all the things and what they're called.
Yeah, it's like it's forgetting the gremlins rules. That's exactly what
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Like gremlins.
So yeah, she stabilizes every day, taking spinal fluid from the other body. Again, it's not explained and she also it's not explained how she knew that was what she had to do too. She just kind of does it. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't actually
yeah.
say how. That was
Like
probably like
I'm
the only thing that I was like, that's weird.
there's a lot of weird things about this film. Like there's a lot of
Yeah, I say
continuity
that like it
issues as
was the
well
only
as
weird
stuff
thing.
like that. That there's a whole like thing at the end, which was like the biggest continuity like problem as well. Or not so much big, but I like realized it a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of like wackiness. And I suppose that kind of
Yeah.
lends to the film itself in a way, because you can tell this was done on like a smaller budget compared to like most films and everything like that. So they probably weren't thinking about all things
Yeah.
like that a bit more. And they'll just
They had
like,
lots of
let's just
fun with
go
it, I feel.
there. Yeah. And that's like
I
kind
think
of
they
the
just went nuts, yeah.
exactly
Literally.
really nuts.
Like, let's get nuts. Oh my god. Yeah, so from then on, the bodies start switching. Each body, she kind of develops like a split personality thing where each body is like, I want to spend more time doing this, and the other side's taking too much. And she keeps calling the company, and the company's like, what are you talking about? You're the same person. You're crazy. Just stick to the
Yeah.
rules, you'll be fine. And she's like, meh, 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 meh. Until Margaret Qualley, the younger version, decides, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to go an extra day.
Yeah.
And then the older body wakes up eventually with like a finger that's decomposed, is like dead. Looks like
Yes.
she's 407. And she's like, what the hell? And they keep fighting back and forth until it hits a point where the younger version of herself is like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to keep the body there, keep feeding it with all of the food, and just
Yep.
let it rot and just keep going. I'm going to take all of the spinal fluid and just keep doing it every day, every day.
Yep.
Which is great for about 2 months. And then she realizes that it run out of spinal fluid. And then this is where the
Oh
film
yeah.
gets somehow even more gross
Yep.
because she has to switch back with Demi Moore or she will die. And Demi Moore looks like Gollum. Like at this
Yeah,
point.
like a really grotesque hunchbacked golem. I was
It
just
was
it's like
hilarious.
the fucking weird golem creature thing from 300. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's what it
Oh,
was kind of like. And it
300.
was like,
Oh, yeah.
damn.
It was so grotty. She's like trying to
Yeah.
walk and her bones are cracking, her knee like sticks in place. And then she's
Yeah.
like getting chased by Margaret Qualley and she can run really fast. For some reason, the golem creature can run fast
This is
sometimes.
another thing as well, right? She's
Yeah.
meant to be like this frail old person and everything like that, supposedly. But then she's like, obviously gets enough to get the energy to go to the place to get the termination needle because she's had enough of it. She just wants this thing
She's
to end
running
now.
there,
And she's running, like full on sprinting.
sprinting faster than Demi Moore was. Like,
Yeah.
I was
So
like,
that was
all
a
right,
whole
sure.
thing. Which it
It
gets
was a
even
whole thing.
more wackier because of then what precedes that is a whole fight between
Yeah.
her and Sue. And then somehow
Okay,
Sue has
so
superpowers.
don't question it. The older Gollum lady, which is Demi Moore at this point, finds a way to cancel her subscription, so to speak, and put the other body to rest. But
Yep.
halfway through doing so, she's like, oh, you know what, maybe I do need this body. It is the perfect version of me. I'm old and I'm ugly. I need this back. Stops it midway, and which causes the body to wake up on its own. And now there's 2 of her.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing because they both want to kill the other one.
Yes.
For no reason. They could have gone on and lived each other's lives perfectly without ever having to switch. Like they could have been fine, right?
Yeah.
From this point. No, they just like, I'm gonna kill you, and it becomes the like goriest, bloody, like it's Mortal Kombat level of this fight scene between this old lady,
Yeah.
Margaret Qualley, in her house, and I'm laughing like crazy because this film is just
Yeah.
insane. This is
Yep.
batshit crazy movie. Um, Oh, and but then it's like it gets even
It
weirder.
gets even more
Like,
wackier. That's the thing. It just keeps
because
going.
Margaret Qualley kills Demi Moore's character, and then
Yep.
she starts falling apart because
Yep.
her real body died, and she's like, "Oh shit, I kind of needed that alive." Like her ear falls off, her fingernail like peels off. It's just so
Yeah. Teeth
gross.
start falling out and everything like
She
that.
pulls her teeth out. Yeah, they start falling out, and then she keeps pulling them out, and it's like just leave it alone. But she keeps
Yep.
messing with it. And then decides, oh, I need an even more perfect version of myself. So the
Uh,
copy takes the used substance stuff, which clearly states only use once.
yep.
Uses it again, and this even more wackier version of her crawls out of her back. And this looks like the creature from the end of The Thing. Like it's got
Yeah.
faces everywhere, like
Yep.
tentacle things, like 7 arms.
It's
So
just a
gross and just wacky.
monstrosity.
This
And
absolute
that's the thing.
monster,
This is
and then this
all like
monster,
practical
yeah.
effects as well. So like props to the
Oh,
like
it's great.
team behind that because it was like really cool to see. All the
The
effects and what
special
they did
effects
for this
makeup
film.
was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so B grade. I loved it. It was just
Yep.
so good. But yeah, the monster goes out in public trying to win everybody over. And
Yep.
naturally everybody's like, "Holy shit, that's a monster. Let's run away." And then the monster like starts exploding and sprays like
Yep.
comical amounts of blood everywhere. It's losing.
Everywhere.
They're using all of the shit that they had. They're like, "We've got all this blood left over. Let's
Yeah.
just spray everyone with," and it just all sense of reality leaves this movie in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it just it goes
Like
insane.
it had
But like, it was
anyway.
kind of
But
funny. I've actually got a picture of it up right at the first person that like goes up to her that causes her to like explode or whatever. Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
realize he already had like a red on him before the blood
Did
started
he?
spraying? Yeah.
No, I didn't notice.
It was like for like a good couple seconds and everything because obviously they must have like done it
It would have been, yeah,
once
second take.
before, but I don't think they had the costume to like a fresh costume for him, so they've
Mm.
obviously just tried to clean it off as best they could. But I was like, that doesn't look like a white suit, and then it just like yeah,
I might have to rewatch it. 'Cause I didn't notice that. That's great. Yeah, it's fine. This whole movie's batshit. It doesn't matter
yeah,
anyway.
yep,
Um, but yeah, then the monster thing just runs away. Starts falling apart itself and crawls onto like Demi Moore's like Hollywood star, and that's where the film ends. She becomes like
yeah,
a stain on the concrete star, and that's
yep.
the end of the film. That's the substance.
That's
We
the
just gave you the full
substance.
rundown. I
Yep.
still am not 100% sure what I watched, like, to be honest.
Neither. Neither. It was something. It's actually like currently like number 2 on IMDb charts, as in like popular things and
Oh,
everything like that.
really?
Yeah.
That's
Which
yeah,
is
well,
insane.
film is definitely unique. I love
Oh
that
yeah.
it's very much its own thing. Like,
Yep.
very little in this film feels copied, especially like I like it takes elements from things. It's doing like the monkey paw scenario. It's doing
Yes.
like the prosthetic effects that we've seen in a bunch of like 80s stuff, but it's shot like a
Yep.
music video. Everything's
Yep.
really clean and crisp, and everyone's always like sweaty, but it's always like really high depth, and there's like butts every 3 seconds in this film. It is an insane
Yeah.
experience. I
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
recommend it to everyone.
No.
It's like I'm probably not gonna watch it again, at least not for a while, unless I
Not
watch
for
it
a
with someone
while.
else who
Yeah.
hasn't seen it.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like one of those films where like it's worth watching, but like only once. And then like if someone comes up to you being like, "Oh, have you seen this film before?" and they're like, "No, no." It's like, "Oh, we should watch it. We should watch it." I want to horrify that person. So if you have like a worst enemy or something like that, and you want to like horrify them forever with films, be like, "Hey, watch this," or Jeff Goldblum's The Fly. Either one.
Yeah, they're pretty on par in terms of like the
Yeah.
goriness of
But
them.
that's the thing. This is so cool
So I
because
s
it's reminiscent
yeah.
of like 80s and everything and those B type of films where
Yeah, yeah,
everything's
yeah.
just so overdone. And that's where I kind of like liked it even more because of all that.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. So I feel like we can go over to final thoughts and ratings for the substance. What do you think, Barry?
Yeah, no, that
Wanna
sounds good.
take it away?
I will you take it away. So I'm gonna start by saying this is a good 7 out of 10 for me. Like this was
Okay.
absolutely just fascinating to watch. It actually won best screenplay
Yeah.
at Cannes as well. That's
Yeah, it
interesting.
did.
But yeah, this is actually like one of the best performances I've seen Demi Moore in. Like she hasn't been. It's been a while since I've seen her in something, but like I remember like growing up all her films and stuff like that. I was like, this is one I'm going to remember Demi Moore now forever. Like every time
Yeah,
I think of
yeah.
Demi Moore, I'm gonna remember this film straight away. But it's just like the wackiness and the eccentricness of this film, which I enjoyed a lot. There are obviously there's like continuity errors. How does this all work? There's a lot of things in it that just obviously is like not the best film ever made, but it's still like worth watching, you know, and everything like that. Like I just had a good time. It was good entertainment. Was not expecting the body horror so much of this film as much as they put in there. But I suppose like because of how the story is and what it's all about, like addiction and being like the beauty and everything like that. Like it's a very good insight to like how Hollywood kind of still is in a way and all media and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It is very much like this, obviously, just not to the extent of turning into a monstrous creature. So yeah, I loved it. I loved all the performances. I love the cinematography in it. There's a lot of like interesting things that they do with it. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me.
Nice. I think I'm sitting on an 8 out of 10. I wish I got to see this in the cinema. I feel like that would
Yeah,
be an
that would have
insane
been more
experience
cool.
of
Yeah.
itself. Yeah, it would have been very just immersive. You would have felt just so much more involved in this.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. But I loved it the whole way through. I was just having fun with this film, which doesn't happen a lot, especially with like R-rated body horror, like horror stuff. This is
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, there was not a moment in this film that I was like, oh, I'm taken out or I'm bored of this. The whole way through, I'm like, what is this movie? Or
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was amazing. This is so cool. The set design was so good. The way everything was shot was amazing. They definitely used the right cameras for the skin because it was like just so in your face and it all just looked so good. Everything you were looking at was just fun. And over the top, just like nuts. It definitely had its problems. That's why it's an 8 out of 10. But it was like, I don't know if this is an 8 out of 10 in terms of like with other movies, but it was an 8 out of 10 in terms of just my personal enjoyment.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think this is an 8 out of 10 film. I think it's an 8 out of 10 because I had so much fun with this start to finish. So definitely go check it out. If you're not squeamish or if you're not like
Yes. Do not watch
opposed
this with
to
your
like
parents. Do
nudity or
not
violence.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
don't
know
do
if you
that.
don't like nudity, if you don't like violence and
Oh
mass amounts
god.
of gore and
Yeah.
just body parts ripping apart and
Or prawns,
everything,
like eating
or prawns, or we're
It's
putting
really
prawns really
gross.
close up, and just dodgy
That was
Dennis
my
Quaid
worst
being a
part.
dodgy producer.
That part made me more disgusted than a lot of the body
But
horror stuff. I
I
was like,
was
this is
not,
gross.
yeah, I was not expecting Dennis Quaid out of all people to be casted for something like that. But I'm just like, this is so great because it's someone
Wacky.
I didn't expect to be that, which makes it more like, ugh.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's it for the substance today. On to the second part of the
Substance.
podcast, Barry.
Yes,
Ta-da.
that I totally have a clip for because I totally remembered that we were also talking about this.
Did you not get a clip for a different man? Okay.
I did not get a clip for
We're
a different
gonna
moment.
we're gonna wing it.
We're gonna wing it because I have not seen
Okay,
this
Barry.
film. So Clayton's almost going to
Alright.
like pitch this film to me to convince me to see it
Let-
because I'm still umming and
let
ahhing
me
about
pitch
this
it to you.
film.
Yeah. Okay, so imagine Sebastian Stan.
Yep.
Okay, is that in your head? Yep.
Yep.
And
He's in my
now
head.
imagine
Yep. I'm gonna click
him
my eyes. Yep. I
like
can see Bucky right there.
deformed. His
Mhm.
face is incredibly deformed.
Oh,
Very
but he's so
swollen,
hot.
lots of
He's
tumors.
so cute. Ugh,
Yeah, but now
disgusting.
he's not. He's not. The whole thing, yeah,
Bucky,
he was,
no,
but now
Bucky,
he's not.
no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So, and then he's hot again.
Oh, Bucky! Wow.
Are you on? Are you in? Are you on board?
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board. Yeah.
Okay. No, I genuinely do recommend you see this film. The biggest comparison that I can put this to is like Dream Scenario in terms of that vibe,
You see.
which I know you didn't like.
Yeah.
But I feel like this story and these performances in this will hook you a lot more. I feel like you'll get into
Okay.
this a lot more than you
Yeah.
will Dream Scenario. So I'll give you guys the rundown for A Different Man. So it starts off with I forget the character's name, but it's Sebastian Stan. I think it's like Eugene or like
Edward.
Euford. It's a weird name. Edward, that's
Edward.
it. Thank you. So he knows. He's
It's
seen
such
it.
a weird
Okay.
name. Who calls their kid Edward?
Yeah. All right, sorry, dude. I did no research for this podcast. I saw this a week ago.
Uh,
Shut up, Barry. I'm doing the thing. God. Okay, so yeah,
that one guy
Sebastian
is watching
Stan.
a podcast that's called Edward is gonna hate you now forever.
It's like, no way. Man, I'm so sorry if anyone listens to this and their name is Edward. I guess I
That's
just
right.
forgot about you.
Fuck you, Scissorhands.
Yeah, well, he's gonna type an angry response, is he? Yeah, he's gonna pull that off, right? With his scissors for hands. How is he gonna do that, Barry? I'm never gonna hear from Edward. Okay, back to it. Edward, he is this heavily deformed guy. His face has developed these tumors over his adult life, swelling, growing, causing like no severe symptoms yet, but it's on the verge of causing him pain. He's losing sight in one of his eyes. It's starting to become a real problem for him. But it's also a huge problem in his social life because he's an incredibly shy and introverted person because of this. So he keeps to himself a lot. He avoids looks on the train. He lives by himself. His parents are both passed away, so he's just on his own, hiding away from the world essentially. Until two things happen in his life, and I'll try not to spoil it too much for Barry. But he comes
That's
in
fine.
contact with a new neighbor. Yeah, I say spoiler. It's not really because I'm not going to get into the like. Don't worry. Shut up. I'll get to it. So he gets a new neighbor, which is this girl, and I forget her name too. Barry, what's her name?
Ingrid?
You have that up still? Ingrid. That's
Yep.
right. I knew that. Sorry, Ingrids, if you're listening. You don't have scissors for hands. I hope. Okay. uh,
uh,
are-
we're gonna
we're
send a
losing it
picture
here.
now
So
of someone
yeah,
with scissor hands.
yeah. Named Ingrid, it's gonna be weirdly specific, and we're gonna be like, "Who the hell are you? Like, stay
Yeah.
away from us." No. Okay, so Ingrid moves next door to Edward, and she befriends him and takes a real liking to him. Um, she has a boyfriend, so Edward's still kind of like, "Oh, there goes like his one chance." He starts falling for her and realizes that he can't have her. So he still kind of distances himself from her too, despite the attention that she's getting.
Yep.
So while he's doing that, he comes in contact with a doctor that has come across this new way that may help him, new drug, the new tests that may help his condition.
Is it the substance? The
Here's
substance?
it's basically the substance, which is where these films connect because the premise
Yeah.
is the same. A person that's quote unquote ugly, not Demi Moore, I'm sorry, Demi Moore, but like is not how they want to look. And there's a drug that makes them look how they want to look and makes them look younger, makes
Yeah.
them look better. It's weirdly coincidental that these films are coming out so close to each other, but it's fine. They're both good in their own way and very different
Happens.
in
Yep.
every other way.
Yeah.
So yeah, he takes this drug. They are unsure if he's in the control group or the experiment group because obviously it's a test just to see what it's working. They don't know themselves. It's a randomized test. And it fixes him completely. His face starts like falling off in clumps. He starts looking better and better. It's actually quite a gross scene. Like he's peeling
Yeah.
the skin off his face. It's really cool
Ugh.
and reminiscent of some stuff in the substance, but it's not that level of gore.
Yeah.
It like peels it off and Sebastian stands underneath. It looks like he's peeling off makeup, but it's still really cool and really well done. So while he's doing that, he looks better. And because he looks completely different, he's kind of hiding from it in a different way. The doctor shows up
Okay.
to his door and he's like, "Hey, is Edward here? Like, who are you?" And he goes, "Oh, Edward killed himself. I'm not Edward. I'm someone else." And like, and gives him a fake name. And he goes, "Oh my
Oh.
god, I'm so sorry to hear that." And basically starts a new identity for himself as this new person. Just completely out of nowhere. It's not quite explained why he wants to do this. I guess he just feels that he's older person. He doesn't want to explain that to anyone. He doesn't want to
Yeah,
have
well,
to
he's
deal
not
with
he's
all
not the
this.
same person anymore.
He's
Yeah.
not. He's a different man, which is where this story comes in. Right?
Ha! Does he
So from
say,
then
I'm
on,
a different
he keeps
man now? Does he say that?
No, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
basically says that a couple times. So he's all good looking now. Um, and so he tries to get in contact with the girl again, who's now single, and she's directing a play based on Edward's life, who she thinks killed himself. And
Oh.
because our new guy was Edward, he decides to audition for it and brings along a mask of his old face that the doctors gave him when they did a cast and a scan of his body at the start. So he basically wears a mask of his deformed face, shows up
Yep.
auditioning for the role, and she like gets weirdly attached to it. And like, okay, you can play Edward. Like you guys have a weird connection. Doesn't quite explain it. And from this point on, no one knows that they're like that they're the same person. He never reveals that he's Edward. That never happens in this film, which is the
Okay.
craziest part. That's never resolved. From this point on, he is a
Oh.
different man. Edward is like gone completely. It's
Oh,
never
okay.
revealed to the
Wow.
girl. It would have saved him a lot of trouble, and he never does it. Anyway, so while he's auditioning, this other person shows up to the play, who I forget his name as well, but he's actually deformed. He looks very similar to how Edward did, except he doesn't lack the like social
Oswald.
discrepancies that Edward had. Oswald. Yeah, thanks, Barry. He's very he's very extroverted. He's very outgoing. He's very positive and confident with himself. And so Sebastian Stan like really hates that. Just kind of has this vendetta against him the whole time. Like Oswald steals his girl. It's this whole thing. He takes over the play, and it
Oh,
just goes
wow.
downhill from there into like nuts territory. It starts having fun with this film. Um, like from that point on, like
Yep.
that's a different man. That's kind of where we end up with a different man.
Okay.
Barry,
Wow.
would you go see that film?
If I saw it on a streaming service, yes.
Yeah, I nearly had you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you see,
that's the thing. I feel like the performances will probably captivate me. Like
performances are great.
I am interested in seeing this just because like I have watched the trailer for it. Sebastian Stan does look phenomenal and everything like that. A lot
He
of
is
people are
good
saying
in
like
it, yes.
this is like his best performance he's given in like anything.
Yeah, well, it's that or Bucky.
True.
Like, come on.
So like yeah, I am looking forward to like I will watch it eventually and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's kind of one of those things again where there's nothing like enough is catching me for it. It just kind of looks dreary the
Yeah,
entire
okay.
time and like you said,
It
very
kind
room
of
to dream
is.
scenario type thing. But it's kind of interesting though because the actual guy who plays Oswald, the actor Adam Pearson, actually does have he's faced it. That's actually how he is
Does.
in real life and everything like that. So was he like? I'm trying to find something. Was he like part of the writers or something for this? Was this like based upon his
Uh,
life a little bit? Maybe.
maybe. I mean, it touches a lot on the themes of like people that look a certain way get like, especially actors that look a certain way or have deformities
Yeah.
get very cast in those roles. So
Yep.
it kind of touches on that, the fact that he's playing this character because he looks like that, and that's a
Okay.
big talking point of the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is very, very cool, and he does a really great performance. You love Oswald in this film, but
Yep.
you kind of also hate him because Sebastian Stan hates him so much, even though he hasn't really done anything wrong.
Yep.
Their dynamic is really fun. They play around with that a lot. Yeah, like that's the thing. I feel like you'd like this more than Dream Scenario. I don't know if you'd rate it highly, like, or this isn't one
Okay.
you'd go back to. I feel like you'd watch it and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, it was cool.
Is there enough like eye
Um,
candy? Is it like the substance where everything's just super close up and just like poppy and no? Okay.
No, not really. It feels like an older film, in terms of that. Similar sort of a dream scenario look. It looks like it's shot on film. They've used a lot of overlays and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Yep.
It's cool. I really love this, and I saw this at the press screening for it as well. So there was like
Ooh.
maybe like 20, 30 people in the cinema again. I keep going to those. It's crazy. It's like
Yeah.
when we talk film or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
so
just
I
keeps
saw it in
happening.
that context before the film came
Nice.
out, which is crazy. Watching the substance like months after, and then we watched The Different Man before anyone else. It's just we pick somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so I feel like we can jump over to my final thoughts and ratings.
Yes.
I
Because
don't
what
know
will your
if
thoughts be?
yeah. I don't know if Barry can rate this film, so it might if when we post this up, it's probably just gonna have my out of 10 review.
And
it'd
then
be a
it's just
little
got
weird
like
if Barry gives it.
Barry just being like, "We'll add to
It says
watch
Barry
list."
didn't watch it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do Barry didn't watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Pretty different,
Okay.
man. The
Okay.
performances definitely
Yeah.
carry this, and it knows that they carry this. It lets
Yeah.
the characters shine. It lets the actors bring these people to life, and it has
Yep.
lots of fun with the story that it's trying to tell. It goes nuts and it goes crazy. It leaves you with a little bit of unanswered questions, similar to a
Okay.
dream scenario sort of ending.
Yep.
Um, things like the fact that Oswald and the new guy are the same person is never revealed. That's
Yep.
probably my biggest gripe, is that like he never actually tells anyone after the
Okay.
event that his face falls off. Like that feels like a bit of a missed opportunity, but
Yeah,
also
and I
like
feel like
you kind of
wouldn't
expect that to happen, I
the
suppose.
doctors like come back and being like, "Where did Edward go?" and everything like that? Doesn't
They came back
anyone like do a
once.
test and
No,
stuff?
they came back once, and he said that he was his friend and that Edward killed himself, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And then he kind of just moves house, so like he disappears. I don't know how he starts a new life that easily.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but I guess because I don't know, he looks different, like completely different, and they don't know that the drug actually worked. Like I think he was the only person that it worked for, so he's kind of like by doing this, kind of doomed everyone else with these deformities because
Yeah.
he was the one that worked, and they can no longer test because they don't know that he existed or that it worked. Um, there's a few things like that, but it also it kind of fits the character as it goes. It just you get into it.
Yeah.
It's good fun. Not a perfect film.
Okay.
It's a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable watch, especially if you're into those sort of A24 unique
Yeah.
experiences. It's not life changing,
Yep.
but it's fun. It's a good weekend watch. Like a
Nice.
family thing maybe. 7 out of 10
Yep.
for me. And a
Nice.
didn't watch from Barry because
Yeah.
he doesn't care
And
about this show. He's only in it for the
DNW.
money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Always your monies.
yeah, all the money we make from this
don't get paid.
podcast.
We don't get paid. We don't get paid.
I'm not paying you. There's no way I'm paying you for this. This is insane. I'll pay you when you watch the
Yeah.
films, maybe. Alright, why
Will
not?
you really?
Yeah, roll the outro, Barry. Let's get out of here. We'll see you guys next
well,
week.
thanks for joining, everybody. We'll catch you all next time. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, all the YouTube things. And if you're watching on the podcast things, reach out, branch out. Did you like these videos? Have you seen these movies at all? I'd like,
Barry
to know if you. Yeah, neither. Will I watch next week's one? I don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned for
Find
more
out next week.
We Talk Film. Find out next week on We Talk Film.
Oh, same bat time, same bat channel.
We're losing it.